Coming up on the Die Hard Den podcast. First, we tell you something good, positive things that happen around the Lions organization. Then we go on the ball as we project the offensive depth chart for the 2019 season. Then we defend the den as we look at the projected depth chart for the defensive side of the ball in the 2019 season. All this and more as we go inside the Die Hard Den. Let's get it. What up, though? And welcome to the Die Hard Den podcast. It's your man, Kurt Steele, and your boy, Shawnee J.
What's happening, everybody?
And welcome inside the den. New and improved. We're in the building. Check it out. New format, new segment show, guided conversations. We want to improve the show for you guys, the listeners, the fans of the show, and we're going to go ahead and get into it. So first thing we're going to do is first segment is Tell Me Something Good. Tell me something good. Now, tell me something good, positive that happened to the Lions. So my man, Shawnee J, you are first. Bruh, tell me something good.
Well, finally, the Lions got a good backup running back to complement Kerryon Johnson and C.J. Anderson. This is good because Kerryon has some injury concerns, at least for my mind, coming out of college. And he got hurt last year, missed the last 6 games. Even though he could have played, he still made at least 2 or 3 games. I'm glad CJ signed, and the reason why it took a little while for him to sign with the Lions is because he was waiting to give birth to his first child, I do believe, which, family comes first. So if you recall last season when Eli Harrell was the Lions, he took some time off when his wife gave birth to his first son. Matt Patricia is a family-oriented guy, so he's very understanding. So that's good. CJ has a chance to get back in the NFL, prove himself. He signed for $1.5 million, which doesn't sound like much by today's standards, but still it's a lot of money. He gets to play, he's going to get a lot of playing time. He gets to play for a bigger contract in the future. And he'll need it, that new family, a wife and a son now. So all's looking good for CJ and the Lions. That's my part. Tell me something good.
All right, my something good. Okay, if you haven't been following the Lions on social media, one of the big stories for me is something good is my man Sam Martin. Sam Martin has always been a charitable guy since he's been at the Lions. He recently was a ambassador to the Special Olympics World Games. He took the time out of his busy schedule to travel across the world to attend the Special Olympics. And it was a life-changing event. If you get a chance, listen to the podcast with Toy Petcher at Lions.com and listen to his adventure going to the Special Olympics. He was there on stage. He went to different venues. He had a chance to experience the games with other traditional athletes and to help cheer on the Special Olympics athletes and those with intellectual disabilities at the World Games. It's a big thing for myself. If you don't know, I have a son with autism, and he's a Special Olympics athlete himself. So big things. Sam Martin, he does wonderful charity work in the community in Detroit, but he's took it to the global stage with the Special Olympics. So Sam Martin is my Tell Me Something Good. All right, changing segments. Now let's get into it. We're going to go on the ball. On the ball. Set, go. All right. First up, offense on the ball. We're going to talk about the offensive depth chart right now projected for the Lions, and I'll give my analysis once I get done. All right, starting on the outside with Kenny Golladay. He's my wide receiver number 1 or 1A, and on the other side, you got Marvin Jones Jr., 1 or 1B. All right. So starting from the left tackle, we got Taylor Decker. We got Frank Ragnow at left guard. Then we got Graham Glasgow, the anchor in the middle, playing center. Then we got the spot that's going to be a little bit flexible as far as who's going to be in that slot. But right now, I have Kenny Wiggins is going to be in that slot for the starting right guard. At right tackle, I have Rick Wagner. I don't think he's going anywhere for right now. He's still under contract. Starting tight end, I didn't put Michael Roberts right there. I put Jesse James. I think he brings a seasoned tight end presence to that position. And right now, Michael Roberts' game is just too volatile to have him starting. I think he's a good backup tight end. I think maybe later on in the season he may start, but right now I got him second on the depth chart. Quarterback number 1, we all know who that is, Matthew Stafford. And then starting running back, we would have Kerryon Johnson in the 1-back set. If we had a 2-back set, Nick Bowden will be the starting fullback. Okay, going into my second string, or if we went to 3 wide receiver set, and I would have Danny Amendola would be the starting slot right now. I just think he'd bring that veteran presence over Tommy Lee Lewis. That's just me. It may change, but right now you have that starting slot will be Danny Amendola. Going down the line, as far as the backup left tackle will be Andrew Donald. I got Joe Dawes, my backup right guard. I'm going to butcher this boy's name. Leo Colantani. He will be my backup center. Ode Adabushi will be my backup right guard, and Terrell Crosby will be my swing right tackle, and then my backup tight end, of course, will be Michael Roberts, like I said before previously. Tommy Lewis will be my backup wide receiver 1, as far as the first backup, as far as in a 4 receiver set. Now, Connor Cook would be my backup quarterback. However, this afternoon, the Lions signed Tom Savage, former Houston Texan and former New Orleans Saint. Okay, my backup running back, of course, to me is C.J. Anderson. My specialty down back will be Theo Riddick. And my kind of short yardage utility back right now will be Dr. Z. Zach Zenner coming off the bench. I was definitely slide one of the backup receivers if we go to a 4 wide or 5 wide set. Brandon Powell fits in there as well. So those guys are interchangeable. And my third tight end would be Logan Thomas. We just signed out of the Buffalo Bills. My analysis for this depth chart, we would have a good solid starting lineup. However, I still think there's some holes at receiver. But I look at the receivers that we have under contract right now. We don't have TJ Anderson. We kind of follow that Patriot way of the smaller receivers. You have a couple big guys, but most of the guys are smaller. You look at the people on the roster right now, Brandon Powell, Tom Lee Lewis, Amendola. Those are a lot of small receivers that's on the roster right now. Andy Jones has some size to him. Besides Galladay and Jones, I just think we need some help and some wide receiver depth. I think we're good at running back. I still think a veteran quarterback, maybe. I don't think Savage is the answer or Cook. If Stafford goes down, that ship's going to sail real fast. Maybe another backup swing offensive lineman, guard or tackle to back up those guys. We need another offensive lineman for depth. I don't think those guys played bad last year when TJ Lang went down. I think they played decent. Of course, people are going to bring up the Minnesota game, but that was an anomaly. 10 sacks. That happens very rarely in NFL. It just happened to us last year. But I think that's an anomaly. I don't think that happen again. But those guys played solid last year when my man went down, when TJ Land went down. So looking at the analysis, what do you think, my man?
I like most of the starters. I still have a question, like that right guard position is still a question mark. We had some guys here. Kenny Wiggins, he played okay. He didn't have, I don't know how much stock you put in a PFF score. He didn't have a good PFF score last year with the Lions or in his career before with the Chargers. He's still a little bit older. He's 31 years old. I don't know. He's at the long-term answer. I think we need to improve at right guard still, unless a guy like Joe Dahl or Leo Kolomatangi, who can play off 3 positions anywhere along the line, can step up and take over the position. Otherwise, I still want to upgrade the right guard position in the draft, like taking a Michael Dieter or Cody Ford from Oklahoma or something like that. It's the right guard position still a hole or the weak link along the line. Receivers, we signed a lot. We signed a couple guys. We got some guys from last year. Of course, like you said, we signed Amendola. We signed Tom Lee Lewis. But those are 2 guys that, kind of same player. I don't know. Both can make it. There's room for both. Plus, I still love Brandon Powell. I think he's as good as he brings as much to the table as both those guys, and he's younger. There's still some talk the Lions may draft another receiver, so there's going to be some competition. I guess they're letting T.J. Jones walk because he's a free agent. I haven't heard him signing him again. And they still got guys like Andy Jones, and we'll see. It's going to be interesting because you saw last year how thin we were a receiver after we traded Golden Tate, and then Marvin Jones got hurt. It's basically Kenny Golladay and a bunch of guys.
Right. I got you. All right. That was the offensive side of the ball for the depth chart. Now we're going to defend the den. My man, Shawnee J.
Defend the den.
Thank you.
Break down the defensive depth chart.
Well, first of all, I'll go over the stars. I kind of like the starting lineup. I think if they stay healthy, we can have a top 5 defense or number 1 defense, like we did a couple years ago in Jim Caldwell's first year. Let's see. First of all, I think the starting left end is going to be a guy who I'm glad to resign. That's Romeo Okwara. Yes, he had his best season under Patricia. He was a former undrafted free agent. He didn't do much in New York with the Giants. We picked him up on the waiver wire. He came in and was one of our top sack leaders. Was our number 1 sack leader last season, along with another former teammate and starter of his in New York. That's Devin Kennard, who we'll get to in a minute. Anyway, at the tackle positions, we're going to start Ashawn Robinson and Snacks Harrison. Now, Snacks Harrison is like a wall in the middle. It's hard to run on. The Lions' running game improved. Defense running game improved dramatically once he came on board. I mean, it was tough to run on. It's up the middle. Ashawn Robinson, he was a guy I always wanted back in the 2016 draft. Got him. He can play when motivated. Sometimes he takes plays off. But Patricia is a defensive guru. I think he's getting the best out of Ashawn, and those two will make great tackles. A nice tandem. At the right end, it's obvious who's going to be the star. That's the number 1 draft. Actually, not number 1 draft pick, number 1 free agent on the market. What we got from the Patriots, Trey Flowers. He's a good pass rusher. He's a good run stuffer. He sets the edge. I think he could be a poor man's Reggie White. I made that comparison. People laughed at me, like you just chuckled at me. But
yeah.
He was like...
No, I ain't chuckled at you. I'm just laughing because I know what people... I saw the comments online.
Yeah.
It was too.
Yeah, but, he still has the size as Reggie White. But like I said, he was just number 1 free agent, and this time we got him. We lost out on Reggie years ago when we got Trey. I think, Patricia, he gets the best out of his defensive players. So I look forward to Trey having a big season. I think he's going to lead the Lions in sacks this year, and he's going to set the edge. At linebacker, once again, we have Devin Canara, who we got last year as a free agent from the Giants. He came to Detroit, he had his best season of his career with 7 sacks. He gets the edge rusher. He's our poor man's Von Miller, coming from the linebacker position as a pass rusher. He's going to be one of our starters. Of course, in the middle, you got former number 1 pick, Jared Davis. Davis, he's in the middle. Some people say he's out of position, but he's a very talented guy. He's not strictly a middle linebacker. You can move him all around. He's a good pass rusher. He can play the run. I like Davis. Now, he may be lacking in pass coverage, as we saw last year at the Dallas game when he gave him that long pass to Ezekiel Elliott, but he's still a good all-around athlete, and you can move him around and just don't keep him in the middle. You can rush the passer. He's pretty good against the run. He has speed, like sideline to sideline. I like Davis. I think he can be our Ray Lewis. The other linebacker, kind of bugs me. This worries me. He's a solid player, but he's not the best player. That's Christian Jones we got from the Bears a year ago. Christian, he's okay. They drafted a linebacker like one of Devon's, either White or Bush. That wouldn't bother me. He could replace Jones. I think Jones is a good depth player. I'm just going to spot him as a full-time starter. He hasn't shown me much, but as of right now, he's going to be my other starter at the linebacker position.
Now you're doing a base 4-3.
Yes,
that's what you're. Okay, yes, all right. Just want to make sure.
Base 4-3, because I think we have the person right now. We have better personnel suited for the 4-3 instead of the 3-4, because we don't have a true nose tackle. Snacks is not a true nose tackle. He's better as a D tackle, where he gets a little help inside, where he commands on double teams, and that should free up the other tackle, theoretically anyway, and ends and linebackers to make plays.
Okay.
That's
all right. Continue, my man.
Okay, no problem. The one quarterback, we're holding it down. The All-Pro, that's Darius Slay. He's one of our, I think he's been our best cornerback the Lions have had. He has some good ones, but I think he's been the best one we had since Lem Barney, and that's going back 40 years. We had a couple good ones. We got, like, if you recall, I'm going old school, kind of tell my age, like, remember the Hound Dog, James Hunter, and Luther Bradley, and Bruce McDermott, he was good for a while, and of course Ray Crockett, Melvin Jenkins, and Dre Bly, Superfly Dre Bly. I used to talk to him when I called the radio show, but, I think still overall, Slay's our best corner since Barney. And he has potential to be a Hall of Famer. At the other corner, you got a couple guys, but I think who's going to start is the former Raider, Rashawn Melvin. Now, he had an offseason with the Raiders last year, but that was a large part to them lacking a pass rush. I think they only got 12 or 13 sacks.
Yeah, they were terrible at on the defensive line last year. Yeah, that pass rush was terrible.
That has to be a record low since they've been keeping sacks. It has to be a low for a team. Their former Pro Bowler who they traded away. For the Bears, so am I right now. Anyway, he had more sacks by himself than he did his team. Yes, so
Khalil Mack.
Exactly. Yeah. About that. He had more sacks by himself, so that trade hurt them in the short run. But the Raiders got a lot of draft picks this year in return, so maybe it'd be worth it this year. But we'll see. But that's another story for another day. At the safety spots. A personal favorite of mine is going to be at the strong safety, Quandre Diggs. I'm glad the Lions gave him a nice contract last year. I'm glad they started him because the year before, 2017, when he was moved from cornerback to safety, he made a lot of big plays. And he made some big plays last year, too. He was tied the Lions lead with 3 interceptions, him and Slay. Made some nice plays. He had a pick six, of course, the first game of the season. Once again, I maybe have a tendency to overrate guys but I think he can be our Troy Polamalu, the former Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
Strong safety. I see Quadri, as being a similar player. That move from quarterback to safety was a masterpiece, a stroke of genius by Caldwell, the former defensive coordinator. What's his name again? The former coordinator used to be with us?
Tavon Austin?
Yes, Austin, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was a stroke of genius moving them there. Okay, and the free safety, we lost a fan favorite in Glover Quinn. I love Quinn. I understand he's getting older, but I still think he could play. But the Lions decided to move on to a young guy and he was a surprise pick at number 3 last year. But he's being counted on to be the starting free safety now, and that's Tracy Walker. He's long, he's dingy. I think he has potential to be a good starting safety. I thought the Lions made a sign of strong safety, free safety rather, like the Honey Badger or Landon Collins. So Walker would have to be, put in the duty right away. But the Lions didn't want to pay that much for safety. They think Walker's their guy. Once again, Patricia, he has a knack of getting the most out of players. Like he got the best seasons out of Devin Kennard and Guevara last year. Hope he continues to get the best out of these guys. I'm looking for, I think the Lions can have a top 5 defense. If all goes well, they stay relatively healthy. That's always the key.
Okay. Looking at those guys, that interesting. You put Walker in front of Tavon Wilson, the more experienced guy, but that very well could work out.
Yeah.
Looking at that defense, I think that's a good, solid starting defense. I think that, I think Patricia's going to mix it up a little bit. Sometimes you're going to have Snacks playing that nose tackle, and you'll bring in Deshaun Hand and some of those guys to kind of those 3-4 defensive ends. So I think you'll have Hand on one side and Flowers on the other side, but really good. I think we're going to have a potential to have a really good defense. I definitely agree with you. So let's change the subjects. All right. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to 2 points conversing.
2 points conversing.
All right, my man, what you got?
Well, got a little sad news, as your listeners probably know by now. Matthew Stafford's wife, beautiful wife, Kelly Stafford, she was diagnosed with a tumor, a malignant tumor on her brain. She's opted to have surgery to remove it at the end of this month. Of course, I wished her well. She's young. Wish her a speedy recovery. Hope the surgery goes well. She'll be in my prayers. Hopefully, she'll be in all of Lions Nation's prayers. There are still risks to the surgery. Anytime you're talking about operating on the brain, it's very delicate because that's what nerves that controls her hearing, her sight, her facial muscles. So it's very delicate. It's going to take a good doctor and a steady hand. Like I said, hope the hand of God is with the doctor from the surgery, so she can have a speedy recovery and can live a normal life, do things she's used to doing, maintain her lifestyle, traveling, dancing, taking care of the kids. Because she's still a very young woman. If she's Stafford's age, 30, 31, still a young woman. So we wish her well, absolutely. But the thing that concerns me a little bit, if things don't go as planned, if things aren't well, would this affect Matthew Stafford's availability for the upcoming 2019 season? As we discussed, the Lions have some good talent potential on both sides of the ball we went over. But if Kelly Stafford is not well, the surgery doesn't go well, even though I'm not wishing that, I'm hoping it goes well. Let me make that very clear. If she needs more medical attention, if she's full-time, 24/7 care, or Matthew decide to sit out, he tell the Lions, say, I got to sit out the 2019 season to care for my wife. There's some precedence to this. It reminds me of back in 1998 when former Lion Chris Spielman, who was then with the Buffalo Bills, he told the Bills he was going to sit out the 98 season, which he did, to care for his wife at the time who was battling cancer. So he sat out that season. If Stafford sat out this season, I think the loss would be more devastating for the Lions because we're counting him to be our leader, our quarterback. And where can the Lions get such a starting quarterback on such short notice? You can say draft one, but how, are you willing to put stock in a rookie quarterback? I mean, this happened nowadays, but still, this quarterbacking class isn't the greatest. I still have my doubts about the quarterback from Ohio State because Ohio State has a bad history of producing NFL quarterbacks. Like I said, this class is very weak. There's not too many free agents you can get. I guess we can look at Sam Bradford or RG3, but those are retreads guys who haven't done much in the past. So I wish that Kelly Stafford well. Her health is going to determine if Stafford is going to be available this 2019 season. I'm hoping he is. I haven't heard anything to the contrary, but like I said, history has shown us that it's happened before where Chris Spielman's out a year to take care of his wife. And of course, I know people are going to say, well, family comes first, his wife comes first. Like I say, when a Lions player is having a baby, family comes first before football. But this will, at the same time, kind of sabotage the Lions season. So that's my 2 points. But I wish Kelly a good, successful surgery and healthy recovery. I'm hoping for a great season for Matthew Stafford.
All right. So, yeah, I understand that being a husband, been married for almost 25 years. I can understand if he does choose to sit out in something of serious nature as that, I would definitely understand. And, the Lions will have to adjust. My 2 points. All right. AAF, the Alliance of American Football, folded recently, and it was some real shady business practices going on with some of the how they handled the breakdown of the league. Once the league decided to terminate, or actually suspended the play. They said that it was some investments that people were. I guess it was committed money instead of invested money. So basically people committed money, but it didn't actually give the money. So if you look at, they were having players have to pay their own airfare to go home. People were getting outlandish hotel bills on their credit card statements. Actually, the charging them for stays, doing away games. So if you look at the actual business practice, I don't think they really went about it the right way. I don't think they had a good, solid business plan as far as the funding of the league. And it's terrible to see that they treated the players exiting the league that way, where these owners should have stepped up, and the proprietors of the league should have stepped up and made sure that those players were taken care of on their way out the door. It's just terrible the way to see the way that the business practices are handled for the AAF. Now, on a brighter note, a lot of players from the AAF have already signed NFL contracts. This was what the league was supposed to be a developmental league for the NFL. They didn't have the support of the NFL. I think if it would have been a joint venture, I think that league would have survived. But kudos to those individuals that signed, that made enough big plays in the AAF to get an Alliance of American Football to get noticed and get signed by NFL clubs. You have some talented players on those rosters that were a lot of former NFL players that just needed a second shot. So, and some of those guys are getting those shots coming up in training camp. You'll probably have some more signings. You'll probably have some more of those guys that'll be training camp tryouts from the AAF. So kudos to those individuals, and I look forward to seeing some big things happening with those individuals coming up from the AAF to the NFL. So, my man, any additional comments you got for the people before we get ready to get out of here?
Yes, first of all, I just want to say, if the AAF was supposed to be a developmental league for the NFL, I'm surprised the NFL didn't, give them a financial infusion, keep it going because they were in competition. It was supposed to be a supplemental league, and the AAF was getting good ratings. That wasn't the problem, TV ratings. But the problem was it wasn't getting no TV money either, like the NFL does. And I'm surprised the NFL didn't step up and say this is pretty good. The people are watching. I'm surprised the NFL didn't help the AAF if it was supposed to be a developmental league for them. So that surprised me a lot. And I wonder what Vince McMahon is thinking. He's supposed to relaunch his XFL next year. At least he finished the first year when it, first launched it back in 2001. But still, I wonder what he's thinking. What players are thinking. If this happened to the AAF, will the same thing happen to me in the XFL? So that any other future football league, that they tried to start. I mean, see all these other leagues, new football leagues. Since the last successful one was the old AFL, which forced to merge with the NFL, but every league since has failed miserably. So it's just very hard to start a new league because it takes a lot of money, it takes fans, it takes patience for the most part. So
yeah, okay. On my additional comment, ladies and gentlemen, the preseason schedule has been announced. So the Lions will play 4 games as usual. First week 1 is against the defending world champion New England Patriots. That's not a surprise for me. Looking at probably some joint practices coming up at Ford Field. I know there were some talks about having those joint practices. There was kind of hush-hush, but I kind of knew something was in the works. Rod Wood mentioned some of this information at the winter meetings. So then you got week 2 is at Houston. The dress rehearsal, it'll be at Ford Field against the Buffalo Bills. And our usual opponent that usually every year that we play, Cleveland Browns, is back on the preseason schedule. We'll finish up the week 4 preseason at Cleveland. So there is your preseason schedule for the Lions for this year. Tell the people how to get a hold of you on social media there, Shawnee J.
You can find me on Facebook at Sean Jennings. You can find me there. I'm always available. Look forward to hearing from my new fans. You can ask me a Lions question. I'd be happy to answer it for you.
All right. So you got me. I'm at Kurt Steele. At Curtis Steele 14 on Twitter. I am Curtis William Steele Jr. on Facebook. On Instagram, it's at Curtis Steele 14. On LinkedIn, it's Curtis Steele. For the Die Hard Den show ourselves, our show itself has its own Twitter page. So it's at Detroit at Die Hard Den Pod C1. So at Twitter for the podcast is at Die Hard Den Pod C1. That's our Twitter handle. If you want to email questions to the show, it's dieharddenpodcast@gmail.com. So those are the way to get a hold of us. We appreciate you listening to the show. It's your man Kurt Steele in the building. Until next time with my man Shawnee J. And guess what? We'll see you next time, and we out.
Have a good one, everybody.